상위권 순위 함께 알아봤습니다. 계속해서 이번 주 8위로 2계단 뛰어오른 H.O.T입니다. 밴드.
In the 21st century, South Korea is one of the largest cultural exporters in the world, dominating the market with K-pop, K-drama, food, cosmetics, and even esports. On Spotify, K-pop is streamed nearly 8 billion times monthly and is growing 27% every year. BTS, K-pop's poster boyband group, held the #1 Billboard spot 6 times, but despite its immense popularity, K-pop is still at the center of misinterpretation for several reasons, one of which being the perceived feminine traits held by male K-pop idols. In this video, I will be sharing my thoughts on why some may view male K-pop idols as feminine, as well as the differences between Eastern and Western beauty standards. Believe it or not, the beauty standard for Korean men in general hasn't always been slim, young, and with less facial hair. But for K-pop, the most prominent music genre in Korea was trot, or trot, and it was around for a very long time. In comparison to K-pop, which is only 3 decades old starting in the 90s, trot is nearly a century old, dating back to the early 1900s. This is before World War II, before Japanese occupation, and before the Korean War. Even to this day, a lot of K-pop artists seek inspiration from trot art. Popular K-pop artists like Taesung from Big Bang are even trying to bring back attention to it from younger generations. Here is some footage from a trot performance from 1990, right before the emergence of modern K-pop. Evidently, most of these performers are mainly middle-aged men with bigger builds, almost a stark contrast to beauty standards in the Korean music industry today. The current trend for Korean male beauty standards began around the time of the Hallyu wave. 2 examples I will be talking about are the K-drama Boys Over Flowers and the K-pop group H.O.T. Boys Over Flowers, or 꽃보다 남자, released in early 2009, is one of the most prominent members of the Hallyu Hall of Fame. The series is about a lower middle class girl who begins to attend an elite school in Korea. The reason I am talking about this show is because of its male cast who are all 꽃미남, which translates to flower boys in English, and are a perfect representation of the beauty standards for men today. According to Wikipedia, 꽃미남 is, quote, a neologism that was first used to describe pretty boy characters from girl comics who regularly appeared against backgrounds filled with flowery patterns. As I mentioned earlier, the 4 꽃미남 protagonists of Boys Over Flowers exemplifies the beauty standards of modern Korea. They have small, watermelon seed-shaped faces, porcelain skin, double eyelids, slim bodies, high noses, and decent stature. H.O.T, standing for High Five of Teenagers, is, in my opinion, the quintessential male idol group of first-generation K-pop. H.O.T incorporated hip-hop culture from the West into their music and styles. Furthermore, their performances always featured flamboyant and synchronized dance routines. However, what I will be talking about today is about how they look, more specifically how they compare to others in the Korean music industry prior to K-pop. H.O.T is often recognized for shifting the male aesthetic in the Korean music industry away from bullish masculinity towards androgynous good looks. What is androgyny? The dictionary.com definition for someone who is androgynous is someone who is, quote, neither clearly masculine nor clearly feminine in appearance." End quote. As previously mentioned, HOT signified the shift towards androgyny for the Korean music industry. Modern day male K-pop artists use makeup, wear revealing clothing, and have feminine movements in their choreography. Most of the current standards for beauty for men in the West are more akin to that of the time of Trot. Men with tall stature, wide frames, huge muscles, and tan skin. However, androgyny has never been seen in the West before. Popular artists such as Michael Jackson, Prince, and Freddie Mercury all don their signature androgynous looks while performing in front of millions of fans. So, why is Western media somewhat unwelcoming to this difference in aesthetic? To be completely honest, it is not. In fact, there are many androgynous influences in the West today. While there will always be people who are conservative in their views, this is perfectly fine by the way, the world is constantly changing and so are the standards for aesthetics. For a century, the same Western beauty standards dominated Korea's male musical landscape. However, with the turn of the century, new aesthetics emerged. In the same way, I believe that the West will also change their beauty standards. Maybe not directly towards androgyny, like the East, but rather in a direction that is more tolerant to men wearing makeup and holding themselves in a manner that is not your typical macho man.